Yo, my name is Sebastian. So I went to a real estate meetup this week and I started talking to this real estate broker that I know about the Chicago market and what I can expect next year. So he watched a couple of my videos. Thanks for watching. And we started talking about what my goals were with these videos. So long story short, he mentioned how so far it seemed like my content had an emphasis on money and how happiness and purpose were things that people should also consider. Now, I definitely thought about that before, and I'm glad he brought it up because it inspired this video. So the question is, should you be chasing money or happiness, or can you do both? I'm going to share my thoughts, and I really hope to hear from you guys in the comments because this is an interesting topic, and I'm curious to know what your opinions are. One of the reasons people chase money is because it's usually associated with happiness or fulfillment. I mean, yes, we know about the cliche that money doesn't buy happiness, but we've been programmed for so long to believe that it does and that it's the goal that it's really difficult to understand that it doesn't, especially if you're not rich yourself. I mean, we're drawn to pop culture on TV or on social media, and we subconsciously associate the amount of stuff that people have or the amount of stuff that they could buy with them being happy. In my early 20s, I made more money than when I was in my teens. In my mid 20s, I made more than when I was in my early 20s. And I make more money now than I ever did before. But does that mean that I'm happier now because of the dollar amount? I'd say not completely. And I would argue that during that time, my happiness has been mostly due to my relationships. So my family, my girlfriend, my friends, my experiences, like joining a fraternity or some vacations that I took or some concert that I went to, the feeling that I'm learning and that I'm growing as a person, the fulfillment that I got when I used to tutor when I lived in Miami, the feeling that I'm getting from making these videos. Now, I said not completely because I do believe that money played a role. I mean, with more money, you're able to rent or buy in a better neighborhood, get a better car, buy healthier foods, even get a gym membership. It could give you a level of security, comfort, and leisure that you wouldn't be able to afford otherwise. And that's why I believe that money will always be important. I read a lot of different articles that talk about different studies done showing that money doesn't make you any happier once you make more than $70,000 to $80,000 a year on average. I mean, that kind of makes sense because at those salaries, for most of America, you're able to live comfortably and you don't feel the need to keep improving your living conditions. I mean, going from $30,000 a year to $60,000 a year makes more of an impact on your happiness than going from $130,000 to $160,000. With that said, I feel like purely chasing money really has no end. So if you're making $30,000 a year, all you can think about is how to get to 60, right? If you get there, then you'll be super happy until you get used to it, and that becomes your new normal, right? It's just like getting new shoes or a new car. You get used to it, and then you want something else. So you want to get to 80K, right? So you think that when you get to $80,000, you'll be like, all right, that's enough. I mean, you might think so, but if money is solely what motivates you, then just like before, then you want to get to 80,000 and then 500,000, and then it just won't stop. Another problem with that is the more money you make, the more responsibilities and the more stress you have. You're probably working more hours and have less time. So if you were unhappy before, you think you'll be happier now? I know that some people would say that if you're making a lot of money at your job, you should just stop complaining and just keep piling it up. But the question becomes, for what purpose? So if you have an exit plan and you're accumulating cash to invest so you can start making money elsewhere so you could one day leave that job, then that's a different story. But if you're miserable and you don't have enough time to enjoy your family, your friends, and what life has to offer, and you just want to make money for the sake of having it or to be able to buy things for short-term happiness, is that really what you're working hard for? You could also start multiple businesses and fail at all of them, because in that game, money is not guaranteed. And if you don't like what you're doing, then it makes it that much harder to persevere. Some people are lucky and have a job that they love, but that's not the case for most people. But does that mean that you should quit? I mean, I don't think so, because that's not easy or realistic, and the bills got to be paid. But does that mean that you should settle and accept the reality that that's what you're going to be doing for the next 30 to 40 years? Spend most of your life doing something that you don't like or that makes you unhappy? You don't have to quit, but in my opinion, you should have an exit plan. So you should use the precious time that you have available whenever you're not at work, so on weekdays and weekends, and keep searching for your purpose and your passion. So what is it that you like doing? And you should keep learning new skills and striving to become better. So like Robert Kiyosaki learned from his rich dad, you should keep minding your own business by finding ways to invest and possibly get out of the rat race. I believe that by doing these things, new possibilities and new opportunities will start to develop. So time is one of our most valuable assets, especially if you're under 35. So what you do with it today is a big component of how happy and how successful you are tomorrow. I also understand that not everybody wants to do these things on their free time. I mean, a lot of people are perfectly happy with the life they have, whether they like their job or not. But if you don't and you want to be super successful, then this notion of not working for money seems to come up a lot, especially from very successful people.
Try to find your passion. And, I mean, may not find it the first time, but, don't sleepwalk through life. Find something that you really enjoy doing if you can do it. And, not everybody's lucky enough to be able to find that, but it ought to be your goal. To make $10 a week more doing something that you don't feel good about compared to something you'd feel good about, make the change.
So sometimes when I speak at entrepreneur conferences, I get asked, what's a good market to go into where it can make a lot of money? And my response to them is, instead of thinking about where you can make a lot of money, think about what are you so passionate about doing that you'd be happy doing it for 10 years, and even if you never made a dime, and that's what you should be doing. And kind of the ironic thing is the money will actually follow.
Do not make any decisions based on money. None. It's the worst way to make a decision, which I know is so hard to say. I mean, I didn't grow up with any money, and I know so many of us our families have a lot at stake. They've put a lot into us, made a lot of sacrifices for us. You will be more successful if you make decisions based upon what is going to feed your soul, make you feel valued, validated, have you waking up in the morning and racing to work, whatever it might be. And I can tell you, after a short amount of time, money will not be enough.
I think a lot of people should build around their interests and their hobbies, businesses, because I think it's I think it's a better life to be happy and make $200,000 a year or $55,000 or $5,000 and be happy than to make $1 million and be miserable. I really believe that. It's not sustainable. Unhappiness is not sustainable.
Are you a rich man?
When you mean rich, what you mean?
Do you have a lot of possessions? A lot of money in the bank?
Position make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
My personal goal is not to be dumb rich, although that would be nice. But I value freedom and having options, having the choice to keep working if that's what I want to do, or having plenty of time to do the things that I like with the people that I love, or helping others by bringing value to their lives. So the things that I'm doing today, however time consuming or however frustrating they could be at 2 a.m. on a Sunday morning, or so that I could be in that position one day. That's all I got for today. I really think it was important to talk about this so people could start thinking about why they're doing certain things. So definitely let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you think this video was helpful, like, comment, share, tag a friend, or subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Peace! In my mid-20s, I made more than when I was in my mid-20s.